Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Link Between Worlds randomizer run. I'm very excited to be here. Uh, I am Miss Becca Fay, and with me to help commentate, I have Fumafu. Fumafu, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Fumafu. That's all I have to say.
Fumafu is a regular person in the weekly races, and so am I. And they won second place in our first tournament that we had. So it's very exciting. So, just a couple things about this randomizer before we get started. It's currently in beta. So, one of the things that you'll probably notice right away with it is that overworld items might not match what I end up picking up. So, if you see like a piece of heart or a small key in on the map, if I pick it up, it might not end up being one of those things. And then we have the My shuffled, which are like the gold Skulltula token equivalent. And yeah. Oh, and dungeon entrances also randomized. So yeah, I think we can get started. The file name, is it MIFA? Is that what I noticed? Is it okay? I think it was MIPHA.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get started.
All right.
All right. So we're starting with the bell, and then for the dungeon entrance randomizer, we also start with the scoot fruit. And so the shop has a few interesting things in it. Not the red rupee, but we'll take the purple rupee. So
Yeah.
if you don't have enough money for an item, when you're starting out buying something, you can get it for free for the first time.
Yeah. So buying the red
Um,
rupee there, it normally costs 50, or the purple rupee, but because we get it for free, that's just a net 50 free for us.
yeah. And then this item is an item that you get after you get the Osfala portrait, which you need Osfala's portrait along with six other portraits in order to fight Uganon at the end of the game. I'm just getting some notes here quickly, marking
Yeah.
where
The
each sage is. Oh, go ahead, Fumafu.
the sages are randomized between the different dungeons, as opposed to being in their normal places. So that adds in some of the early pendant dungeons that are not technically required to beat the game. And Ravio here at the start will tell you where each of those sages are, and we can note them on the tracker that we've got running here. And some of those come with extra checks that we can grab later.
Yeah. So Kakariko Village is on the path to Gamasuir King. So Gamasuir King is the boss for the Palace of Darkness or Dark Palace. And so that means that there's an item in Kakariko Village that will lead to Gamasuir King.
Yeah, the Dark Palace requires typically bombs and lamp. I think they're going to be the main two, so we're probably looking at one of those there.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be straightforward like that. Sometimes they're more tricky.
Very true.
And so currently the big item that we're looking for are two of the merge bracelets. And the merge bracelets unlocks the main like gimmick mechanic of this game, where you can merge into walls, which is pretty much built into everything with this game. Oop. Okay, the
All right.
flippers. That's very nice to get early. And so another setting we have on is called chest size matches contents. So if it's a big chest like that, that means that there's a progression item in there.
Most
Nope.
likely, probably going to be required.
Yeah. Hyrule Castle Throne has monster guts. That is something we don't need. Oh, the
Ooh,
Pegasus boots.
Pegasus boots are great, especially because we don't have a sword right now. Pegasus boots work kind of funny in this game. They normally do sword damage when you're dashing, but when you don't have a
Oh.
sword,
Oof.
when you don't have a sword, they do significant damage. But I guess that doesn't matter anymore.
So, Kakariko to Dark Stare. That might be the flippers. We just got the flippers there. So, outside Kako mini dungeon is a Lost My Mai.
Okay.
Um,
You gonna grab the hints from Lost Woods up there?
yeah,
Yeah. Some people don't grab these. I think it's great 3-3 hints right here.
yeah. In racing, like it's definitely tempting to kind of ignore them sometimes, but Kak is on the path to everything. It looks like. Bouldering Guy is a Lost My Mai, so the premium milk that we got is not necessary, which is actually kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, you'll have to see that.
Yeah, when I bought that, I thought I was buying a regular bottle, so I feel like I got kind of tricked with that.
Yeah, the premium milk, the model messes up when it's in the shop, so it had to be replaced with a red potion model, I believe. So kind of funny little interaction there. So normally you need the gloves or the bracelets to get to lift those rocks to get in this cave here. But with a sick little crow boost, I believe that's called, you can just bounce
Yeah.
right over and access Death Mountain way earlier than you're supposed to.
Oh, I have the Pegasus boots. When I get them early, I like never remember.
Oh man, we don't even kill the little Moldorms in one hit.
Yeah, not having a sword when you get the Pegasus boots early is very nice. Like it makes some bosses kind of very difficult to deal with, but for the most part, it's good. Okay. So here's another My Mai.
Perfect.
That's actually our first one. And there I saw that there was a big chest.
That big chest requires we have merge, and it requires that we have bombs, so we'll have to come back there later.
And then since I got a bottle, I'm actually going to do a quick check over here. And then I'll go over into the area where you're supposed to be starting the game. Oh, I just said I would be doing a check. We're going to go talk to the bee guy. They have very creative names for the characters in this game, the NPCs.
$20, not bad.
So there's a My Mai over here.
If you hit that tree to your lower left as well, it drops like 100 rupees or something.
Oh, dang, that tree is loaded.
Yeah, it's totally random how much it gives, I think, but it's usually around 80 to 100, I believe.
So there's a bunch of monster parts in this game that you can use to make potions. It's really not a part of the game, but sometimes in the glitched category, it's necessary for you to make a red potion to get up further up Death Mountain.
Art. Not mad at some early health.
Thief Girl has a red rupee. So that's a check where you need to beat Thief's Hideout, which isn't required for this seed.
Okay, we're loaded this run.
Yeah, this game gives you a lot of money, just in general. So, which is good because there's some checks that need a lot of money. Most infamously, the Great Rupee Fairy.
Yeah, the Great Rupee Fairy is a check in low roll, which is similar to the Dark World from A Link to the Past, and it requires 3,000 rupees for a single check. And most of the time it's garbage. Most of the time she'll give you $20 for 3,000, but hopefully we'll see a hint for it at some point. Otherwise, we might need to farm up a little bit. Up to 3.
Yeah, so since we got the Pegasus boots, oh, there's the power glove.
Very cool.
We're playing with power now. That's the thing that lets you lift up the rocks.
And very unusual. We still don't have a single bracelet yet.
Yeah. So that's what I was leading into. We got 2 items, that the flippers and the boots, that let us get a bunch of Mai early. So the world is our oyster kind of right now. And Kakariko leads to like every single uh boss so far. So there's something pretty big locked there. I'm guessing it's behind the flippers. So this is our first mini game. We are playing with the mini games this time. We have to dodge all of these cuckoos. Oh, and I already messed it up because I was talking. And sometimes this game can be tricky. The little ones will hide behind the big ones.
Yeah, they don't have collision with each other, so.
Yeah. So it can kind of troll you sometimes. Um, there's also like orange or more yellowed color ones, and those ones are flying up high because this game is meant to be played on the 3DS. So I think it's just one of those little like 3D features that they intended you to use, but we can technically walk under those. All right, this time it was pretty easy.
Not too bad. You get 150 rupees by default for beating it, as well as a check. You get another Mai Mai.
Not the most exciting, but Rupee Brush, low roll, Monster Tail. Okay, that's actually great. And I'm gonna wait to actually do that because there's a Mai there where we need the merge bracelet. And so
Combine on
I'm
checks
just,
if we wait on that. But
yeah. So far, a lot of our early routing will be built around just trying to get Mai.
mm-hmm.
All right. Hack is on this path to Zaganica.
Zaganaga is the boss of the Desert Palace. So we now have Kakariko Village on the path to Turtle Rock, Desert Palace, Ice Ruins, and Palace of Darkness. And for people familiar with other Zelda randomizers, those are similar to like Way of the Hero hints from Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask randomizer. Basically saying that those are like a required item to get to that place or to fight that boss.
So there's a pretty out of the way check over here. We could this guy's creatively called Bird Lover because he hangs out under the bridge with birds. So we're gonna go talk to him quick, see if he has anything interesting for us. Lots of money. So far it's a kind of slow start. I need to mark that. This area down here is also pretty out of the way, but there's a few checks that we can do right now here. So more
More
money.
money. Everyone's just throwing their money in the river, I guess.
Yeah. Haunted Grove Stump is a Lost Mai. That's pretty good to know. That means that's the Haunted Grove Stump unlocks after you beat the first pendant dungeon, which is something we don't want to be doing.
The three pendant dungeons are not required to get in and fight the final boss, essentially. So if we can avoid going in any of those pendant dungeons, it's usually a pretty good thing. So yeah, finding a Haunted Grove Stump is not necessary. Great.
So with this game, it's actually possible to beat it while walking, but it's definitely a lot faster with the Pegasus boots, and it's intended for you to use the Pegasus boots.
Yeah. There's some very tight routing needed because this mini game actually has 2 levels with different timers.
Since we are on the easier mode also, and I'm going to have the Pegasus boots, I can grab this Mai. And that's actually the heart that the stylish woman gives you when she blows a kiss at you.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever picked that up before.
Oh, really? I think it's a more recent thing that was added.
Four hearts now, not bad.
So there's another Mai over here. All right. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go over to the Eastern Palace area. We don't have a ranged weapon, so we currently can't hit any of the switches.
But we do have the power gloves.
Exactly. So that'll let us pick up some rocks over here. And hopefully I won't mess up throwing these rocks, which I've done more times than I would like to admit.
So annoying because they're so far away.
Yeah.
All right.
Treacherous Tower. And so now I need to go back again and do it.
At least the Pegasus boots make it a little faster.
Yeah. Can't dash when you're holding a rock, though. All right. So, okay, I did talk to that ghost. So in there is a treasure dungeon that we need the merge for, so we'll come back later. I'll just damage boost through that.
I honestly didn't know you could just walk on the underside of that first set.
Oh yeah. I do that often, I think, there. All right, so Master Ore underneath that rock in Desert Palace. Yeah, this way. So it's hopefully we can get a few checks within whatever dungeon this is. Oh, I don't know if I've ever done that before. Tower of Hera.
Tower of
So
Hera.
we need the hammer in order to do anything there. So can't go there yet, and it's also
Tower
not
of
required.
Hera, yeah, is also one of the pendant dungeons, so we might not need to go there.
Oops. There's a Mai hanging out over here.
$20.
The seat is they gave us the Pegasus boots and the flippers, and now it's a pretty barren.
Yeah, the Mai aren't giving us as much as I would hope. Heart container's pretty nice though, especially while we've still
Yeah.
got the green tunic.
All right. I knew that was gonna happen. Southern Ruins to Margot Mill. All right, we
All
got something
right.
different that time.
Something that's not Kakariko.
Did I get
Margomel
it?
is the boss of House of Gales.
Yes. Did I get anything in Southern Ruins? I don't think yet.
I don't believe you've gotten anything mind-boggling over there yet.
That's my hardest part with the path hints is like getting a path hint later after I've like kind of gone in that area and
Absolutely.
not exactly knowing what I got over there.
What was that hint for?
That was oh my gosh.
It's probably not important, right?
Yeah, it was that something was junk.
Okay, okay. And this lady's
Ooh,
complaining that she's complaining she has a scratching coming from her roof. So we can pick up that Mai for a check, and then as well as talk to her for a reward for getting rid of the scratching. And there's a hammer.
very nice. All right. So her name is Woman, and so she hooked us up.
Yes, woman is the best.
And so the fire rod is nice because that unlocks damage boosting for us. So we can use the fire rod to damage boost out of bounds. So we can get behind that big rock.
Very clean.
Oh, and we're at 9 Mai.
Luckily, that rock
Inconvenient.
moves out of our way when we come out.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, this one is always a little tricky.
and you can, if you fall on the other side of the ledge, you have to like warp out also.
Luckily, we do have the bell that we started with.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation a couple times without the bell.
Of course, now I'm struggling with this more.
There we go.
Just make sure I don't fall down there.
All right.
And so we also need merge pretty early in Tower of Hera in order to do anything there. So I'm going to wait a little bit to go there. Hyrule Castle area to Argus.
Okay.
Yep. And then there's a little peg over here. You can also get to that with an enemy if you stun them. Oh,
All right. Master Sword doubles our damage, which is great.
and it also lets us get to inside Hyrule Castle, which lets us get in access another dungeon entrance. But before we do that, I'm gonna be doing this just quickly. Again, this is the faster version. The first time you have to beat it in 75 seconds, and this one you have to beat it in 65.
With the boots, not so bad, considering we went and got a check in the middle of it last time and still had 5 seconds to spare.
Yeah. In the 100% speed run for this, they get a bunch of checks during this set part.
And I believe we do have 10 Mai now, right?
Yes.
So 10 Mai Mai's lets us talk to Mother Mai Mai, who's lost all her children, and she can upgrade any of our kind of key items to usually better versions.
Yeah, it's some of them are like questionable, but
I'm personally not a fan of the upgraded Fire Rod. I think it moves faster or something, and it makes it a little harder to do those fire boosts.
yeah, it makes it a lot bigger, so it kind of changes the setup.
But something like the hammer or the bombs, very useful. They do tons of extra damage, and nice bombs are used for some other cool tricks.
All right, so up there we can see that's a small chest, so we don't need to worry about that.
Most likely money or maybe a heart piece, but
A Mai Mai.
some monster parts could be in there potentially, I suppose.
That's a small chest, so I'm not going to go back for that one. So up here's another dungeon entrance, so we're going to check to see what that is. It is Turtle Rock, so we need the ice rod to do anything there. And Turtle Rock is required.
Yeah. One to find.
Let's see. There's another check over here that I didn't get earlier. Oh, and since I have the fire rod, I can actually do the sanctuary. So I think I'm actually going to go and do that. So to get further in the sanctuary, you usually need the lamp or just a fire source. And so since we have the fire rod, we're able to go there and actually do stuff.
Do we have time to read out a quick donation?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We have $50 from Jenny from Arkham. No comment, but thank you very much, Jenny. Very generous, and we appreciate it very much. And we are here this weekend in support of the Liam Foundation, whose mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ friends through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. Thank you, everyone, and let's continue to have fun this weekend.
Well, thank you. Did you say it was from Jenny? It was kind of hard for me to hear.
Yes, Jenny from Arkham.
Okay, yeah, I know who Jenny is. That's a friend, so thank you very much, Jenny. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jenny.
No, I still can't do anything there. So we got the first part of the bracelet, which doesn't do anything by itself, but it gets us closer to getting the second part, which will open things up a lot.
Hey, 300, very nice.
All right. So down here, there's another check that we need a fire source for.
Small chest.
All right. So it looks like I think there's 2 more checks in logic that we can get right now. Oh, I think there might have been a My here that I forgot also. Yeah. Oh, there we
All
go.
right.
So now we
That
can
now
do
allows
start.
us to merge into walls. Yeah.
Oops. All right. Uh, oh, were you asking about this game's relationship to A Link to the Past? Yeah, so this game is like a loose sequel to A Link to the Past. It takes place in like the same world and setting, uh, but I feel like it plays fairly differently.
Absolutely.
All right, so up here with the Pegasus boots, there's a little trick that you can do to skip part of this, where this larger gap, you can kind of just dash across it like that.
Very clean. A lot harder than it looks. If you're in slightly the wrong spot, you'll just fall in the hole. If you wait just slightly too long, you'll go right down to the first floor again and have to retry. That was very clean.
Thank you. Water puzzle. Okay. What's the water puzzle?
Yeah, which check is water puzzle? There's a few of those in there, I think.
Yeah, I think it. Oh, maybe it's the one that's at the first floor on the left. That's actually pretty annoying. I like to skip that often, so it's actually kind of unfortunate that. Well, I guess you need a small key to get to it. So actually, logic-wise, I don't think it's necessary, right?
I think you might be right.
I think so. Hopefully, that's what I'm gonna assume.
So we can check another dungeon here.
These hideouts.
Hideouts. We have everything we need here, so we are good to go. Although this is actually one of the pendant dungeons as well.
There are a lot of checks in here though.
Yes.
So I'm going to spend some time, I think, in here. Especially because we know that I just got the big key, and so I know that the one chest that I just peeked over there, like it has to be a progression item because it can't be a small key.
Yes, there's only one small key in this dungeon, and it's required to start the escort mission that we need to get that check.
Yeah. I think this dungeon in like A Link to the Past is kind of infamous for the escort mission part. It's not the exact same in this. It doesn't have the same twist or anything, but it's still kind of annoying to have to do it.
This could be our small key here.
It is.
There we go. So any other big chests in this dungeon are likely progression items.
So we don't have bombs, so we actually have to use these guys, which are conveniently placed for us.
There is a setting in the randomizer that can turn those guys off, We don't have that enabled right now, obviously, but it's kind of fun to play around with once in a while.
Yeah, it affects Skullwoods also because you have to use the wall masters to break some tiles there when you would normally use a hammer or something.
Mm-hmm. This room is kind of notorious. The Igors are a little tough sometimes, depending on what items you have. Master Sword shouldn't be too bad here, but you do get locked in with them, and as we saw, we got a small chest up there, so didn't really have to do this, unfortunately, but... They do each drop a red rupee, which we definitely needed.
Yeah, we've been struggling to get money, so.
So begins the escort mission.
So, Thief Girl in the vanilla game, like the cutscenes are cut out in the randomizer, but she loves to talk a big game about how cool she is, but she's just really hungry right now, so she can't help us fight or anything.
I actually did not remember that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've played the vanilla version. I do like that in this game versus A Link to the Past, although maybe I'm wrong about A Link to the Past, but I like that she helps actually solve the puzzle somewhat because she has to press switches for you.
Yeah. Oh, another big chest. Okay, so we know that that's something good. Well, potentially good. There are a couple joke items that can be in the big chests, which I'm sure we'll run into.
Hopefully we get some hint glasses, that'd be fun.
Yeah. All right. What is here? Quake. All right, so Quake is the thing that will open up the cracks for us, which will let us warp into the dark world.
Yeah, Quake is not typically an item in the vanilla game here. It's named after the Quake medallion from A Link to the Past. But fun setting with the randomizer, so that the cracks are not just open all the time and you have access to most of the game from the very start. There's the Quake item, which opens those cracks and opens access to the dark world.
All right, so I think the next big item that we really want was bombs.
Yeah,
And
bombs
then
would be great.
tornado
Ice
rod.
rod. Ice rod
rod
could be nice since we know where Turtle Rock is.
Yeah.
But tornado rod is another big one.
I almost got the fall there.
Is it possible to miss that switch when you're charging past it?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm always nervous about it.
I've never had that happen, but I have like fallen through like down before. Oh. Oh no.
We can come back?
Oh, I didn't think she was gonna come back. It's been a long time since I've failed that. Fortunately, we got to like the halfway point of the escort mission, so.
This door's just open now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what that's supposed to look like.
Normally you have some kind of ranged weapon, but we actually haven't gotten like the boomerang or the bow or
Yeah,
anything
they're surprising,
else.
actually.
Master ore. So we need 2 master ore to unlock one check, and then 2 more to unlock another. But I think we got a hint that the one where you need 4 was junk.
Mm-hmm. And we do know one of those is in Desert Palace, so.
Yeah. So since I'm pretty much at the end of the dungeon and we have hammer, I'm going to just finish it out. I can't remember if this was small. Yeah.
Yeah, there is, in addition to the pendant, which we don't need, there is a check for a heart container for the boss.
Yeah.
Which could be something important for us. So might as well.
So for some reason, the hammer is super effective against this guy. It just does a lot of damage.
Yeah, as soon as we get past the first phase, right here, all of a sudden the hammer is capable of double hitting him. And I'm not sure why. But the hammer alone on its own does quite a lot of damage, so getting those double hits is really nice.
I guess we haven't talked about the stamina meter. Do you want to explain that?
Oh, yeah. So this game does something interesting that most other Zelda games don't do. I'm not sure if there are any. But all of the items, instead of using ammo for things like the bow or the bombs, all of the items just use the stamina meter that we have in the bottom left corner, that purple meter. So we can use the hammer, until that runs out, and then we have to wait a little bit for it to charge back up. But still makes the boss real quick.
Merging also uses the stamina meter.
Yes.
Luckily, the Pegasus boots don't.
I think the lamp doesn't, and the boomerang doesn't, I want to say.
Yeah.
And that might be it.
The lamp doesn't. I think the boomerang does.
Oh, this is the boomerang? A piece of heart.
And so with the entrance randomizer for this, there's a bug where it doesn't take me back to the beginning of Tower of Hera. It will take me here, which isn't that big of a deal. But the dungeon entrance randomizer is a new setting. So there's little things like that with it still.
We've got a lot available here.
Yeah. The bee badge. It's an essential item. So that means that the bees are our friends now, basically.
Yeah, occasionally when you cut grass down, there'll be bees that attack you once every 3 seconds or so for a quarter of a heart, and now they won't attack us, so that's great.
And the entrance for Thief's Hideout is Desert Palace, which is required.
But we don't have the stand rod.
Yeah. There's a Mai over here.
Did we get the Mai in the bottom left of these town?
Yes. Okay. I did get that one. Dark Ruins is on the path to Yuga. So this guy, he sells the big bomb flower, which is also a setting that you can have on or off. The bomb flower will basically blows up these big rocks that are kind of around central low roll. before I go do that, I'm gonna do the mini game that's over here. Oh wait, no, we got hints that this was junk.
Yeah, there's a Mai in there we could grab, but the actual
Yeah.
game, not required. That said Queen Orin was junk, right?
I'll double check. I think so. So I'm just gonna grab the Mai. So we're not hurting for cash. Normally with this game, you have to collect as many rupees as you can in 30 seconds. But you're not, there's no timer. And so you have to like guess or estimate when you're at 30 seconds, basically. Oh, just gonna double check this. Yes, Queen Orin is a purple rupee. So
Okay.
she's one of the sages that we'll rescue eventually.
If we get around to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I forget this one needs a big bomb.
All right. So we're gonna go and do the most infamous mini game in this game, Octoball Derby.
Definitely the one I'm the worst at.
Yeah, I think most people hate this mini game. You basically have to play baseball and you have to hit these pots, and the aiming is not good.
You can essentially aim low, aim medium, or aim high. And if you hit a few in a row, this crow comes by, and that gives you 20 rupees. The goal here is to get more than 100.
Oh.
With the small pots giving 1 and the large pots giving 5. So the game plan here, for me usually at least, is definitely to go for the crows.
Yeah.
Ooh, and you can just grab that one. Very nice. And hitting the enemies respawns all the pots. Looking great. You're a lot better at this than I am.
I have practiced this quite a bit. Oh, it's really early there. All right, there we go. If you hit the pitcher, he'll spit one out faster, so. All right. So we'll see if that was worth it. Not the worst, but.
Could have been better. We are still on the green tunic though, so we aren't taking full damage from enemies, so extra hearts can't be too mad at it.
Especially when you get into low rule, the enemies start doing a lot more damage. So.
Absolutely.
Has a small chest. Did we get a hint about the Pegasus boots?
We've not gotten a hit about the Pegasus Boots Pyramid.
Okay. All right, the small chest.
You're out of there.
All right.
I have no idea how these Mai got to low rule.
that is a great mystery in this game. Yuga must have just kidnapped half of Mother Mai children to bring him here or something, just to mess with her. Yeah, so that guy did 4 hearts of damage.
Wow.
I think these guys do too.
I think
Pretty
so.
So the damage can definitely sneak up on you.
And, and 2 from the crabs.
Dying in this game isn't as punishing as in the regular game, where all your items get sent back to Rabio's shop.
Yes, because in the vanilla game, you have to rent those items that we got from the shop at the very beginning.
And
And
the renting,
when you die, they all go back.
yeah, the renting system is basically gone in the randomizer.
Now, this is a trick that I don't do very often, because there's a setting to turn off these rocks that require the big bomb. But Becca's crazy like that, I suppose.
I'm regretting not having them on now, as I'm missing this jump. All right, I think I'll come back here with the bomb flower. There's 3 checks behind that rock. But one thing that is interesting if you keep the rocks on is that this will be full of water. So even if you don't have the hook shot, you can actually access the entrance of this dungeon.
Right, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah. Oh, but I need to blow up the rock. Because now that I activated the weather vane, I can warp here after blowing up the rock. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do a treasure dungeon that's up here. I feel like it's one of the trickiest one. Sometimes it can be a little weird.
Absolutely. This is where they are really trying to make use of that 3D aspect of the 3DS here.
Yeah.
And the item here, the silver rupee, just does not have an item replacement at the moment. So it's normally a silver rupee, but once we pick it up, it'll be a random check.
I feel like it often is still a silver rupee.
Climb high, very well done. And we've got another sneaky one high up on the wall over here.
Yeah, you have to go through that crack in order to get it. So with the bomb flower, if any of those guys touch it, it'll blow up. So you need to be a little careful.
Perilous trek. Going down below first. I think that's the right call.
Well, okay.
And we will probably die in one hit from anyone.
Does not look promising here. But
Nope.
since I am low on health, I'm gonna hope that one of these is a heart piece.
Ah.
Then these guys respawn. Just kind of a pain, honestly.
The last check we have for that big bomb, if I'm not mistaken, is just the entrance to Swamp Palace there.
Yeah, and the rupee fairy.
We're almost halfway there.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Did you ask something?
Can you guys hear me at all?
It's pretty hard to hear you.
How about now? Is that a little better? How about now? Is that a little better?
About the
Not
same, I think.
yeah.
Well, I did want to talk a little bit about the charity, but while we're here babysitting, technically, if you know Luffy, you know he has a hamster for the computer. So I'm going to just talk about the charity a little bit when Jay gets back and is able to fix my volume before I break something. You guys continue this wonderful run. I've never seen this game before. I think it's really great to watch. I'm going to buy it and play it now, and that's happened with quite a few games this weekend watching this, so thank you for presenting this.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's been hard to be able to understand when you're trying to say something. So I don't know if there's something. I think, but so sorry if I haven't been able to, if I've been interrupting you.
It is 100% not on you, I promise.
Okay, so this is Low Castle, which is supposed to be the final area of the game, but with the dungeon entrance randomizer, we can actually access it earlier, which unlocks quite a bit of checks for us.
Yeah, one of the cool benefits of the dungeon randomizer, because you don't normally, most of the checks in this dungeon don't typically matter, because once you've got here, you've gotten most of the items in the game that are required. So very cool that we get to actually do this and check out a lot of these that are here.
All right, and I did turn it on so that the trials door is just open, but we still need 7 portraits in order to fight Ganon, the final boss. All right.
Very cool. So yeah, there's 4 trials in here that you normally need to access the final boss, and they each have about one or two checks in them, most of which we can see thanks to our chest size matches contents. So we do see that that's a big one. Could be a small key, but it could be one of our key progression items.
I'm actually not sure if you're able to do all of this with the progression enemies.
Not sure. I guess we'll find out.
I'll try it for a little bit.
Obviously, as we might have been able to tell, this is the bomb trial, but we don't have bombs. So we're going to see if we can make do here.
All right.
You can also throw it to the right there.
But then I'm not sure what we do from here. So, yeah, I don't think we can with it. It's weird that they would put the progression enemy there, though. So maybe it is possible, but we'll come back. There's other checks we can do for now. Oh, this is the special charm, which doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you actually get the pendant of courage twice in this game, but you don't. The second time you acquire it is, I guess, just realizing what it is. So, yeah. And this is the lamp trial. So there's actually invisible pathways here. You can see when the torches are turned off. But when the torches are turned off, there's also barriers that block the pathway. So you're intended normally to, kind of go back and forth between lighting them and not, so you can see where you're going. But Becca's kind of just a gamer like this. Going backwards is crazy. And the last trial requires the hook shot, which we don't have, so that might be about it for here.
So we got the pendant there, and the tunic, which is actually pretty good.
Yes, now all the damage we take is halved, which should make, most enemies in low roll won't one-shot us now.
Oh, we did get a hint about this.
Yeah, so after we saved Thief Girl from the Thieves' Town, she comes and hides in this cave here and gives us a reward. $20 for saving her life. Seems not quite enough, if you ask me, but...
Yeah, it's kind of rude, but we'll forgive her.
So we got a check from the woman, now we get a check from the stylish woman.
She blows a kiss, and it's a lamp.
She threw a lamp at our head. Very nice.
My favorite is when you get the great spin, because Link, like, pogs out of his mind. He does, like, this big fancy spin, and it's like, oh, Link's excited about that kiss. Oh, the Bow of Light.
Fantastic. Bow of Light is required for the final boss, for the second phase specifically. So that's great. We needed that for sure. Although it doesn't get us anything right now.
Yeah, you can't use it basically outside the final boss. More mail.
All damage is quartered now. Very nice.
That kid loves to get in the way with the Pegasus boots.
Mm.
So now that we have merge, I'm gonna go over here and do this mini game. I think this is the last of the mini games.
I believe so. We did get a hint that Tower of Treachery is no longer required. So.
Yeah. If we count that. Oh. All right. So the red ruby there's the main one we want.
And the closer to the 30-second timer that we talk to the host here, the better the reward we get. It's a multiplier.
All right.
Less than 1 second gives us the max multiplier. ×3 bonus. And there we go.
Just a piece of heart. All right.
$28. Almost a third of the children saved.
Yeah, so still need the bombs. And then there's a few dungeon entrances that we haven't been able to access yet. We need hookshot in order. Oh. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, luckily we're heading up to the area where there is the shady guy who unlocks a couple more checks in Kakariko, which we know leads everywhere.
it's convenient that that hint ghost gave a hint about Queen Orin because we're right next to where she would be.
And so all we gotta do is bump into this guy, and then he'll take off to Kakariko, and we got 2 more checks there now.
Might as well go see what that's about. I'm pretty sure most things are locked behind flippers with the Kakariko hints, but so it's just a ruby there.
And because you have the Pegasus boost, you should just be able to walk up to him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
And in my mind.
All right, let's go check the Skullwoods entrance. There's also quite a few checks that we can do around the Skullwoods area. The smooth gem. So the smooth gem is something that you need to give to Queen Orin to actually get the check that we have mentioned. So one thing that we also haven't gotten a hint about yet is the Master Sword. The Master Sword requires all 3 of the pendant dungeons in order to get it. So hopefully that won't be something important. But we already did one of the pendant dungeons, so.
Wouldn't be the worst, I suppose, but not ideal. And that golden bee that we just purchased opens up 1 more check in Kakariko, which one of the last. Actually, only 2 more left in there.
Alright, Great Rupee Fairy was a Mai, so she is definitely a scam today.
That is great. Great news.
Yeah, there was a weekly race seed recently where she was something important that we needed very early, and so we had to like go and farm a bunch of money as fast as we could.
And we did just pick up the super lamp, which funny enough is the strongest weapon in this game.
It is. It does as much damage as the gold sword, but it's definitely a lot easier to find. And
absolutely, well, gold sword requires 4 progressive sword upgrades.
Alright, so both Rasso hints are junk.
Rasso is another one of the sages that we would have to save. And we can save him now, but we might not check up on him after. And the stamina scroll increases our stamina bar on the bottom left there by, I think, 1.5 times.
Yeah. Gives
required
us more time
for 1 check in the game, and it's just kind of nice to have.
Yeah. Dark Palace. We do not have the bombs, so we're not able to do anything there yet. Did I get the heart piece? Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go see what the bee guy has. Money.
How much did he just give us?
$50.
$50. It only cost us 880.
Actually, we're gonna. I remember Dark Ruins was on the path to something, and there's a bunch of checks that we can do in that area.
Dark Ruins was on the path to Yuga.
Not the most useful hints, but may
Yeah,
lead to something.
Yuga. Path to Yuga is Yuga only requires, I believe, the bow in logic.
Yeah,
The Dark Ruins either has the bow or should lead us to the bow, which is not in itself required for any checks.
but if it leads us to the bow, that means it's something else. That might be more
True.
useful.
It could be our bombs, and the bow could be in Dark Palace for all we know.
So for some reason, the fire rod one-shots these guys.
Very useful.
Yeah. The fire rod cannot reach up there, though. So we can use these skulls. I guess also sword beams. I have those.
Now that we have full hearts. Very nice.
The Tinesmith. So this will let us pick up some of the big rocks around, and it also unlocks more My checks for us.
Yeah, with the My shuffled, that's actually quite a bit.
So now we're gonna go bully this Enox. In the vanilla game, you do pretty much bully him to give you money. And this time he just gives you the 6 checks immediately.
Yeah, it's normally a pretty... You have to talk to him, I think, individually for every single one of these checks, and it's 6 items.
Yeah.
A little quality of life from the randomizer there.
And then he gets mad at you, which is fair.
Yeah.
But you can just walk around and then leave. Just
yeah,
walk
it's
away.
official. In this game, Link is a bully. So 37 My. And we did get a second Master Ore there as well.
Yes, so that unlocks the first blacksmith check.
1 rupee? Great.
Very helpful.
I see why it was thrown into the river.
And the Tinesmith also unlocks the low wheel graveyard area. And there's a big chest over there, actually. So I might be heading over there next because there's quite a few checks there, just in general.
I actually did not know you could see that one from there. I'm gonna start using that.
The graveyard one?
The Turtle Rock chest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty convenient one to have.
That is true. I think Link is a bully in most games he's in. He does go into people's houses and break pots and whatnot.
Yeah, I think at this point I can stop opening the little chests completely. I have the red mail, so it's hard for me to die.
Yeah, we don't really need hearts anymore, and Great Rupee Fairy is garbage, so we've spent pretty much all the money we're probably going to spend.
So this area is a stealth mission, kind of. And for some reason,
yeah.
they kind of have weird vision. You can walk around that guy, and there's another guy later that you can walk around most of the time, but that one's a little more tricky.
Once or twice I've found myself just walking straight through their line of sight, and they just don't trigger. Very wonky.
I feel like this one will usually trigger for some reason, though, if you're too close to it. Bouldering guy's junk. And they won't notice if you just hit him with the sword.
Maybe they're ghosts. It's kind of a spooky area.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. So we don't have bombs, so we can't get access to the Dark Palace entrance, but we can get the Weather Vane there, and so we can warp to it later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thought he was about to turn.
And we get a hint here, which is always nice.
It's the Swamp Palace one. So I'm just gonna get caught to get out of here faster. Because over here there's another Mai. It's kind of hiding out.
Very out of the way. When I was learning all the Mai locations, this is one of the last ones I got that I had no idea existed.
Yeah, it's definitely a very forgettable one. All right, so I think that's all the checks for over here. Don't think we. What did we get in the Dark Ruins area?
We picked up the Titan's Mitt, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
From the coup fight in the water.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go do the sanctuary then.
I think we have one more check in the Light World Sanctuary.
Yeah, and then we'll go to the Dark World portion. The low roll. Now that we have the lamp, it's actually going to make us equip it. It's one of the random things, because this is one of the first areas you do in the beginning of the game.
Essentially the lamp tutorial.
Oh, there's the bow. So I'm not sure what the path is. Well, it might be for the entrance.
It could be. Very nice.
So just like A Link to the Past, it's the left switch up here. Yeah, so you're not able to access this crack until you go through the entire sanctuary area there. And because we have the bee badge, the bees are actually going to fight for us when we do get them. In the hardest version of logic-wise that we have, it requires bee boosting, where you have to use the bees in order to like boost across ledges, and it's a very annoying trick to do. But
very awkward timing.
Yeah. So I think the bee badge would actually make it very difficult, that logic mode until you have merge at least. Oh, there's the sand rod. So now we can do Desert Palace. Was that in
Desert Palace was from Thieves Town.
Thieves Town, okay.
A lot of these areas are A lot of areas are mirrored when you go to the Dark World. It's always seemed odd to me that the Sanctuary is not mirrored.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
All right. So I
The
peeked
last
with
check
the
at
last.
the end. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I peeked that, and so I know that it's a small chest, so don't need to finish it. Oh, I don't have bombs.
No bombs.
Oh wait, no, peace. So, Desert Palace is one of my favorite dungeons, I think, in this game.
I would agree. I think it is one of the best. That chest is small, which is great. I hate it when that chest is big.
Yeah.
That chest requires a small key to get to, so very annoying because it might have a small key if it's big.
Oop. Yeah, so I think like bombs and hookshot are the main things I think I would like to find at some point here.
Maybe eventually. Yeah, this mini boss is very annoying because every time you hit him, he gets iframes.
Yeah. So in dungeons, big chests will also be keys. And so this dungeon does have quite a few small keys, but it's still pretty good check wise. And it seems like that room was pretty loaded.
Yeah, this whole place. So,
Oh. So we don't need to use the small key on this door here, because we know that the chest it leads to is small.
and another one there.
Oh, there's Great Spin. So Great Spin, when you do a spin attack, it does 4 times the damage.
Something like that, 3 or 4, I'm not sure which.
And it
Yeah,
makes
it's
the
also
range.
about, yeah.
Yeah, it like doubles the range of it. So you can see
Very
like
huge. Very nice.
it's the reward you get for getting 100 my mice.
Oh, is that where it's from?
Yeah. So I feel like I've said this a lot, but I'm so glad that floor tiles in general have been phased out of Zelda games.
We're in Echoes of Wisdom.
Oh, that is true. They're a little more interesting in Echoes of Wisdom, though.
Yeah, very true.
So you could use them to fly. Oop. I don't know if I've ever been hit by those guys.
Same. with the great spin, I think you could actually hit him without pulling him out of the sand.
Oh. I haven't thought about trying that.
I think it's super weird. I think you have to do enough damage to kill him or something.
Yeah.
In one shot, because I've had it before where I think with the Kokiri's or the Captain's Sword it doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
But if you have Master Sword or Greater, it does.
All right.
Or I'm making that up.
Oh. Oh my gosh. The red mail can. I only took 2 hearts of damage through all of that.
So one big chest here in this room.
And since you can get it this way, we don't need to flood this area with sand, which is kind of nice.
Yep, so we can basically ignore this entire room.
All right, I think that's all the keys. Because I think we'll have one extra one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try out this. Might need a better sword.
Maybe.
Oh no. I didn't even know that could happen. I think there's still technically one more key. Which is probably here.
Right
Yep.
there.
Then there's one more check and then the boss. Oh.
Well, luckily, we don't need that.
So we don't have bombs, which is usually pretty nice to have for this area, but we'll make it work. Lead this guy over here.
Right.
Having the nice bombs makes that area very fast.
I don't think I've tried it, but the ice rod probably works there too, right?
To break the blocks.
Oh, I guess you would need to, you could hit the switch once from where you're at, but not continually.
Oh yeah.
We are on to Zaganaga. A boss that I have a personal grudge with.
That is true. Uh, During the tournament, the Fumafu was fighting this boss with the Pegasus boots without the sword.
Pegasus
Which
boots without the sword, as I mentioned at the start, does a lot of extra damage, but this boss is immune to it, apparently.
So in the first phase after Zaganica opens up like this, you can actually creep onto the platform here and just hit over and over again.
Yeah, no collision there on that first phase, but now he does. Super weird.
Yeah, this is a boss that rewards button mashing effectively.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe the boss with the most health in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not. Buchanan might have a little more, but it's close.
So this is the Impa portrait, which unlocks the check in Hyrule Castle, but I think we got a hint earlier that that was junk.
Yes.
Nope.
And some monster guts.
There's our first portrait. All right. What was the skull? I mean the um, Swamp Palace dungeon.
Salt Palace is Lorule Castle.
Okay. So there's a rock over here that we can check. Let me think. I guess we can check Turtle Rock with through a glitch.
We don't have the tornado rod.
Oh, for some reason I just thought we did.
Mm-hmm.
So never mind. What was the Hera entrance?
Tower of Hera is to Thieves' Town.
Okay. Let me think. There's a couple Maya around here that I think we can grab. Oh. I'm trying to think if there's any other dungeon entrances we can go to right now.
Hmm.
We can do the Desert Palace entrance.
Ah, yes, yes.
We can also check over here where Southern Ruins led to something. So I have a
Southern
feeling.
Ruins led to Margot Mill, which could be our tornado rod. Although it looks like that might be behind bombs. All the rest of the checks in Southern Ruins are behind bombs.
It could be this Mai over here.
This Mai is part of the desert.
Never mind.
43. We might save all these kids after all.
There's a bunch of hidden ghosts over here, so maybe one of them will lead to something useful. All right. So one of the things with the stamina scroll that's useful is that you're able to access an area over here that's normally takes a while to get to. You're able to just barely make it with a merge.
Ooh.
The boomerang,
Boomerang. That's our first ranged weapon.
unfortunately, does not do that much. It does in glitched logic, but we've got the hammer, so kind of negates that. Ice roots. So we can actually do that, and it's another portrait dungeon. All right. So here, there's also quite a few checks here also.
This room is probably my least favorite in this dungeon. Although
Yeah,
the
these
big penguin room might be the worst.
Fortunately, you can skip the big penguin room, but yeah, the penguins in general are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the enemy randomizer comes out eventually, the penguins will be a nightmare for sure with that.
I think the penguins are only ever seen on ice tiles, right? I wonder if they actually slip because it's ice or if that's just how they move.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think I do now. If you're talking about me. It's still hard to hear, but I can hear now. Yeah.
We have very little game audio from you, so we're trying to technically do this and fix it, so we're not sure what's going on.
I can try to turn it up.
We were having this issue in the waiting room as well, but Thought we fixed it.
Um, I turned it up in OBS quite a bit. Did that help?
Sounds like it's come through your mic audio again.
The guy
no.
who's technically good at this will be back very soon. Thank you for doing that. Well, hopefully that helps when he gets here.
Do things sound okay? Or am I doubled or?
You sound okay. We're just worried about the game audio at this point. We'll get it working. Don't worry.
Okay.
We hear you guys just fine, though.
I know there's a way to dash across this platform, but I can't remember the setup for it.
Yep, I have not practiced it enough.
The chest was small for the long merge, right? I think I checked it. It was
Yes.
small.
Yep.
All right.
There's it.
That small key. Oh, I know where it needs to be. There's a chest that I like to forget over here.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the small, very long merge was a big chest. Hmm.
There's obviously something I'm forgetting.
Oh, did we get the chest in the very first room at the start of the dungeon?
Yeah.
Hidden chest. Got that key there.
This is strange. Oop. Well, maybe it wants us to just glitch.
this
We are
could
playing.
be.
We are playing with glitch logic. I wasn't sure if this was on advanced or regular glitch.
Not sure. Glad we get to take a look at this though.
Yeah, it's a cool skip. So you can actually skip pretty much all this dungeon by just falling to the boss floor, and then you can fire rod a few times, and then he just dies.
This hitbox is for some reason still there and can take damage, but he doesn't activate it unless you fall in the bottom half.
Oh, there's the ice rod. so we can go do Turtle Rock now.
Seems like that probably was the way to go.
Yeah.
I'm glancing at the spoiler log for this section as well, just to make sure, and I think that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that trick was on regular glitch logic or not. It apparently was. So now we can do Turtle Rock. Where was the Turtle Rock entrance?
Turtle Rock was in Hyrule Castle.
Okay.
And we did get a hint that the Irene check is also garbage, so
I'll try to avoid that.
There is nothing.
This area is also full of the nice guards now that we saved Impa. Turtle Rock is another dungeon that I like in this game.
It went from, I think, I think it's pretty universally hated in A Link to the Past, and I think it's one of the best ones here.
Yeah, I'll just... You can, like, barely hit that guy if you fall off the ledge.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that guy there can be rude sometimes.
He has 3 different points he moves between, and I think it's completely random, so you can sometimes just go left to right to left to right, which means you can't hit him from there, and you just kind of have to sit and wait. He was very nice to us there.
I'm never sure the best, like, place routing-wise to hit that switch.
It's very interesting. You're taking already a very different route than I typically take in here.
Oh, really?
But I think it's maybe faster? Tough to say.
You tend to win more of the weekly races, so...
Turtle Rock is probably all of that.
Yeah, so I guess a little bit about the weekly races. They happen on Sundays at 11 Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And it uses glitchless logic, although a couple tricks are allowed. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have people of all skill levels participating all the time.
Yeah.
Open to everyone.
And I think it's actually pretty cool. Black Alpha is a regular there, and they like just started out, and I think their first couple races were like 3 hours, and it's usually like around 2 hours or less for the weekly races, and I think they just won their first one with like a sub 2 hour time. So
yeah, absolutely crazy. And yeah, those are just held in the A Link Between Worlds Randomizer Discord, which should be pretty easy to find. But
yeah, I think there's a link.
join.
There's a command for it in chat. No purple potion. Just kind of unfortunate for this room.
Hey, can you guys hear me all right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got the audio figured out. So I did want to just take a moment to talk a little bit about the Liam Foundation, if I could. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, thank you. So this is the Final Fantasy Randomizer Summer Marathon 2025 edition. Saturday, we have day 2, really day 3, because we had our pre-show on Thursday. We're here in support of the Liam Foundation, whose mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA+ community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. It's really great to partner with them again. They've had a great weekend here with us. The gaming has been amazing. We're setting new goals every day, almost every hour it seems. So thank you so much for also being a part of this. And this has been really cool to watch. I didn't play this game when it was on the DS, so I'm looking forward to playing this at some point. Are you doing this on the Switch right now? What console is this on?
This is being run on emulator, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, so there we finally got the bombs. Which opens up quite a bit. And the hook shot.
Okay. Yeah, I think that opens up almost everything.
I think we're technically in go mode.
We need the tornado rod, but I think that's about
Yes.
it.
I keep forgetting about the tornado rod.
And the tornado rod is most likely in Southern Ruins, which we now have access to clear fully now that we have those bombs.
So we just need the big key here. Yeah, I'll wait a little bit. We're running low on stamina there.
Yeah, if you run out of stamina while you're merged onto the wall, you'll just pop out and probably fall a little early. That big key. And so since the only item we really need now is the tornado rod, which is, as I mentioned, almost certainly in Southern Ruins, we can pretty likely just skip everything else in here and go straight to the boss.
That was close. Oh. Technically need
We do need
one.
Smokey.
Oh, it's one of the worst checks in the game. I hate this room. I think it's my least favorite in the game.
It's pretty bad. That makes it a lot better.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We have a $100 donation from Keegs. No comment, but thank you so very much for your generosity. That pushes the new total right now to $6,733.76 raised for the Liam Foundation this weekend. We're continuing to set new heights. We're very excited to be doing this. Please continue to donate and show your support. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Keegs. Keegs is another friend I know in real life.
Oh, you're a
I guess
left
I-
sider here. That's interesting.
Oh, you're a right sider?
Absolutely.
I don't know if I've ever gone to the right side.
Great spin makes that so nice.
Yeah.
If they ever spawn on the corner like that, it's hard to hit them with the sword, so very nice.
So it's unfortunate we don't have the foul fruit for this boss. The foul fruit makes this boss kind of obsolete.
It's a in the vanilla game, I believe it's a consumable, but
Yeah.
In the randomizer, it gets infinite uses.
And
And
what
what
it
it does
does-
is it stuns the entire screen, stuns all enemies on the screen, and pushes them a little bit. Which, for this boss specifically, can interrupt every single one of his attacks in the second phase. Very nice.
Yeah, with the dungeon entrance randomizer patch, the foul fruit is shuffled into the pool now. So it makes it harder because normally you can just go and buy it right away in the shop.
We'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that attack, he normally bounces all over the room while you try to avoid him. But since we can tank the hits and we have the red mail, it is significantly faster to just get hit immediately, and that lets him end the attack early. And down goes Grinex.
So a weird little bug with the Gully portrait in the vanilla game, Gully is like hanging up in the air. And so whenever the Gully portrait appears, regardless of what dungeon he's in, he's always like way up in the air and will have to fall down. Alright. So I'm gonna go and get the nice bombs quickly. Then I'll upgrade this a couple other things just for fun. I think the bow and the hammer. Yeah, so this is Mother Mai Mai. And then so for every 10 items, every 10 Mai Mai, you get to upgrade one of your items into a nice version of it.
Going for the bow. Interesting.
I'm a big fan of the nice bow.
The nice bow does not do any more damage, but it fires 2 extra arrows. So it's a very interesting one to use.
And the extra arrows can hit, so like if you're close up, it can deal 6 damage.
Yes.
Oh, hammer. That was the other one.
And I mentioned before, but nice hammer, or the regular hammer is one of the stronger items in the game, and the nice hammer just doubles its damage, so pretty good damage output from that guy. Although we do have the super lamp as well.
So there's a guy in here that's been stuck in this cave, and he wants to scoot for it in order to get out, even though we just opened the door for him. There's the tornado
nice
rod.
Tornado rod. So now we are in go mode. Alright, so we can see where this takes us finally.
Skullwoods.
Oh, woods.
Don't need to do.
Dungeon.
Where was Dark Palace?
Dark Palace. Oh, we've not seen that one yet. Oh, wait, yes, we have Skullwoods.
Okay. So, we'll go and do that one. And then, I don't think we've seen House of Gales. We haven't seen any of the other dungeons that we need. So I'm assuming Ice Ruins is one of them. And Turtle Rock. And Dark Palace. Or possibly Lowell Castle.
Yes. Laurel Castle, to enter it, typically requires 7 portraits. With the dungeon entrance randomizer here, I believe we have it set so it needs 6 portraits to enter Laurel Castle.
Yep.
So it could be our final dungeon after we clear all the others.
actually. There's a chest over here that I like to try to grab. Sometimes you can gamble and skip it, but I think it's kind of risky most of the time. I think this... Oh, shit. I thought I was in a different area. I think this is a dungeon that also got a huge upgrade compared to A Link to the Past.
Yeah. Dark Palace is one of the ones I like quite a bit. Our
That's a
paths
big
diverge
chest.
here as well.
Oh. I mostly do the any percent speed run kind of route. With some diversions.
This makes sense.
My audio is doubled.
Yeah, I think it must be what we were having in the waiting room before.
Let me see if I can fix that. Alright, 1 second. Sorry, the game audio probably disappeared. The game visuals. 1 second. Alright, let me know if that helped.
Let's see.
I'm talking.
It's the same.
Let me see. It's very weird that's been doing that. I think it's a Discord thing. Working on this end. Okay. I'll just keep playing for now. I did what fixed it last time. At least the audio doubling.
We do not hear double on our end right now.
Very interesting.
You sounded a lot better there
That's good.
than you had been.
We're solving small problems one at a time.
Yeah.
You guys are holding it together amazing, too. This is a great run. This is a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Patient, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think Becca's one of the more consistent runners we have. Putting on a great show.
We're almost at the 3,000 rupee mark, which we fortunately do not need, but it's worth noting, I suppose. And
I think
normally
we're
you can
still at no deaths, right?
Yeah, I haven't died yet. Hopefully I won't die at all at this point. Oh, I didn't know that was a small chest. That's okay. We want to make sure we save as many of the Mai-Mais as we can.
It's a little tough in the randomizer sometimes, but
Yeah. I had one seed where I think I saved like 90 of them. Not because I wanted to.
because it was your duty as the hero
Yeah.
of low rule and high rule.
All right. So we're almost getting to the end of this. Yep,
We have the red mail.
It's definitely very nice to have. And so the nice bombs also will hit that switch, which is pretty nice. We're supposed to beat a mini boss, but we're able to just skip it.
Yeah, it skips one of the more annoying rooms in the game. This one, you're also supposed to ride along that platform and throw a bunch of bombs down here. This is bomb bowling. But you can also just barely make it onto those platforms from the other side of this wall.
And so with the boss here, Yamasaur King, you can actually do a cool thing with the nice bombs where you skip the first phase.
A couple of well-placed bombs here.
That might be too high up.
With the nice bombs, it might still hit him in the right spot. Yeah, there we go. Skip that first phase entirely. And he'll go ahead and turn off the lights here, and now he's invulnerable to damage, so we gotta turn him back on. Wonder if he gets that from Ganon from Link to the Past.
Maybe. That does make sense. I didn't think about that. I've always thought of him as like an upgraded King Dodongo.
Yeah, I think this is designed to be one of the first dungeons you do when you get to the Dark World. So he has very little health compared to most of the low roll bosses.
Like this and Thief's Hideout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bosses that go invulnerable for a little while, like Knucklemaster and Zaganaga, are also the ones that have the most health. It's pretty annoying there.
Especially Knucklemaster. I'm glad.
Luckily, yeah, we don't gotta mess with him today.
Alright, so we're gonna go see what this dungeon entrance is.
This isn't... I got nothing.
Oh. House of Gales.
Clean.
Oh. Almost very clean.
It always throws me off that they don't die and win it from the Master Sword.
Yeah, I always feel like they should.
For such an early dungeon, because this is usually the second or third dungeon of the game. Pretty surprising.
I like with the Master Sword, though, you can hit the switch after killing that rat with the sword beam. It's very satisfying to do. So this dungeon also has a pretty cool skip that you can do. That we'll be doing later. Helps makes things go faster. That is a big chest, so we'll need to go over there. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah, this game is pretty similar to some of the older Zelda games, where you can have 2 items equipped at a time assigned to different buttons. And there's normally an item that allows that. The pouch unlocks that second button for you, but we started with it on this run.
Yeah, it's probably the one setting that I wish the weekly races had, but I think it is. I don't know. I understand not having it also.
But it's so nice.
Yeah. And since we are in go mode, I think I'm going to just skip this floor basically.
Yep, we have a small key and a boss key, which is all we need for the rest of this. A little close.
Yeah. That bat has to be in a particular position.
Yeah, so second floor is a very cool, long, drawn-out floor with a lot of cool puzzles, and we're not going to do any of them. We get it just right with this bat here.
There we go.
And we bounce right up into a loading zone on the top of the screen there. And since we have a key, we just run right over to the final boss room. With a cheeky little skip from the Pegasus boots there.
We do have the bow of light. So we're definitely all set to just finish things out. Yeah, I think the only other thing we might want is a sword upgrade, but we do have the super lamp, so...
Yeah, who needs it? The Master Sword is perfect as is.
I guess we do have Great Spin, which is probably just as good as the Nice Bombs.
Mm-hmm. For this boss, good enough, probably.
I like to call this boss the IHOP boss. It's like a stack of pancakes. The eye's like a chunk of butter or something.
That works on several levels, that's for sure. He's a stack of pancakes, he hops, he has an eye on the top.
I didn't even think about the hopping, yeah.
Alright, and a my.
50 my.
50 might be where we end at. Unless Zelda's holding one hostage.
Yeah, she could be. So, 2 more stages left. We have Queen Orin and Rasso. We haven't found Eastern Palace yet.
Yeah, so we need to check Ice Ruins and Lower Castle still.
And Turtle Rock.
And Turtle Rock.
Which is where I'm heading to now. This guy can get in the way of the skip I want to do, so...
Very nice. We can just boost right onto that ledge here, and you're not normally supposed to be able to go from the Dark Ruins area to the Turtle Rock area. We can just hop on down.
Did we have the Save the Turtles incentive on? I can't remember if I included that or not.
We are checking for you right now.
Okay. Well, I saved one of them just now.
Turtles is done. So, yep, we need to do it.
Alright, we're gonna save the turtles. So normally you can just skip saving the turtles and let them suffer here, but this time we're gonna go and save them.
Oh, well, that one did just get blasted in the face with a fireball.
Yeah.
He's probably fine.
He'll be okay.
And this one is, I guess, really good at climbing. I have no idea how he got here.
Yeah, the Coos must have shot him up here or something.
Alright, right, so that is the turtles saved, and the family reunited.
So normally you're supposed to climb up onto the top of the turtles and slowly ride the turtle tower to Turtle Rock, but we're gonna do a little skip here anyway. So just by touching the dock there, you store an animation to climb up, and oop. The next thing you touch, you'll hop onto it. Oops. And so by going under this bridge here. What?
We need just the right angle.
There we
There
go.
we go. And then tornado rod right through.
Yay!
All right, here's Swamp Palace.
Perfect.
That's another cool dungeon in this game. I think it's the best water-themed dungeon in Zelda.
You might be right. In the randomizer for Majora's Mask, the Great Bay Temple isn't so bad. But,
Is there quality of life stuff there?
not inherent to the randomizer, but with some glitches and
Okay, yeah.
some neat like optional settings. It becomes,
Shenanigans.
yeah, some shenanigans. It becomes pretty okay. Key?
No, we need to make sure we save as much May of the My May as we can.
There's a neat little trick here to skip all the puzzle in this room.
It's a pretty precise bow shot, but not too bad. The nice bow actually might make it easier. There might be another position to go.
Yeah, there could be. I don't often get the nice bow.
I think I'm the only person who does.
Maybe the best room in the game for the Great Spin, in my opinion.
Definitely. It makes it very nice. Alright, we'll just do that. Too slow, actually.
Have we seen the chest in this room? Ah, it looked big.
Did you get a glimpse of it?
I think it was big.
Okay. I forgot to
Yeah,
check it.
upgraded sword is pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh,
I wish we could play whack-a-mole with those guys.
that would be nice.
These are probably my least favorite enemies in the game. I said that about the penguins earlier, but I changed my mind.
I think the penguins are still my least favorite. Those guys can be annoying, though.
They, as far as I know, they move completely random. They're not affected by your actions at all. But it feels very targeted a lot of the time.
So I think we actually do need this small key in the small puzzle room, or the water puzzle room. I hate this BMOS. Also. With these guys, it is nice they fall in the water like that. They just die.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think there'd be enemies in the water temple that die when exposed to water, but here we are.
Seeing who get messed up by the shell dudes more than any other enemy. Getting called out.
They're awful. They hate me, I tell you. I don't even know what they're called.
I think they're called like Iranos or something. I've been working on making the spreadsheet for the enemy randomizer, and so I've been learning different enemy names. And I think they're called something like that. Was this big?
Yes.
All right. So I think that's everything we need for this dungeon.
I think so.
Oh my gosh. What?
We need to go up.
Oh. I was very confused for a second. I was like, am I supposed to hold down the button? I normally don't think I do that. So here there's a cheeky little skip that you can do with the Pegasus boots. If you hang off the edge here, you can just dash off.
Yeah, very nice. Normally you have to fight all those guys there, and then a hookshot post will come down.
Oop.
Those guys are called Gyorm.
Okay. I was close.
Gyorm.
I knew it was a GY. There's a little swag trick that you can do here.
Wow, you've gotten good at that.
I practice that a lot. I like doing it. I think if you do it like super fast, it's like maybe half a second faster. I don't know, probably not worth it, but I'm gonna do it every time.
But it's style points.
Yeah,
Those are worth more than time.
exactly. Yeah, so that last big chest we know is a small key. Because there's one key door I skipped. So, even though this is a pretty standard Zelda boss, I really like fighting this guy in this game. So I messed up the trick that you can do with the ice rod for this guy. I'm just messing up a lot.
That's alright. Red sword, red mail.
I have lots of room to screw up. Alright, so I'm gonna hope that Eastern Palace is in Lowrule Castle entrance, so that we don't have to go to Ice Ruins.
Yes, that would be great. Ice Ruins is just really out of the way, and it would take long to get there. I forgot that was Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it can mess you up with the entrance randomizer. Alright, fingers crossed. All right, that's a good sign. Yes, there we
Yay.
go.
Great.
So this is technically the first dungeon that you're supposed to do, which was at the entrance of the last dungeon you're supposed to do. The foul fruit.
Hey.
Fumafu is kind of the foul fruit expert of this game. They figured out a lot of tricks to do with it.
It's a very underrated item that is not required for any checks, but is cool for a lot of cool tricks and boss strats.
I guess I could be just pretty much skipping all this.
Yeah,
I'm so used to just like running.
boss key.
I mean, we can just skip the boss key also.
Ah, true. This is glitched logic. I'm used to those races where that's not allowed.
Yeah.
We gotta
Let's
raise
see.
it first.
Yeah. It's getting ahead of myself. Also, we can use the bug net. There we go.
Oh, that's great. I've never seen that before. I'm doing that way from now on. Getting that Armos onto that little platform is such a pain sometimes.
I definitely did that early. Maybe I'll be okay here. Yeah, well, so this almost can be tricky for this skip. Can be kind of rude. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, what?
What? I don't think I've seen it fail in quite that way before.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So, now
So
you
the
can
way
just
that
walk-
works is when Link gets hit with the Armos, he gets flashing and turns invulnerable for a couple of seconds, and then also removes his collision, so you can stand in the same place as enemies. And with that Armos jumping into us, if we tornado route at just the right moments, we'll come out of invulnerability while still in the hitbox of the Armos, which will just shove us just a little bit and get right up onto the ceiling there.
So,
Alright, you guys down.
I know there is a way to get to the bottom there, like that, but
Does Scoot Fruit work from this part here?
it would take you to the Eastern
Oh.
Palace entrance. That's one of the things that needs to be worked out in the entrance randomizer setting.
Right.
So you don't want to be doing that. Where was the Lorule Castle entrance again?
Laurel Castle was in Swamp Palace.
Okay. So there's all the sages. All right, I'm assuming that the swordless Ganon made it. that incentive. All right. So I am gonna grab one fairy, just in case. So for Swordless Uganon, the Super Lamp is actually the strongest weapon against Uganon. I won't just spam it, which is what you normally can do. You can just kind of do this forever, and he'll die pretty quick. But so that's one of the main Swordless strategies. And then for the energy tennis, you have to use the bug net, which can actually be kind of tricky to do effectively.
The timing on it is very tricky.
Yeah, there's a different timing for each phase of the energy tennis. I knew I was gonna get hit there.
Ooh, close one. Phase 1 down.
So for the first phase of the energy tennis, I've found that using the bug net like shortly before the energy ball hits you is the most consistent.
You get those cheeky double hits in there.
Yeah.
And now we'll get our final check of the game.
I'm sure Zelda has something very important for us for this final moment.
This is what we need to defeat Ganon.
$50.
Yeah, $50. Thanks.
Thanks, Zelda. Oh,
You didn't actually equip it.
that was weird. I don't think I've ever been hit by Uganon there. So normally you can just keep hitting the sword over and over, but we're doing the bug net here. I wasn't sure if you actually have to do a certain amount of damage for this.
Mm-hmm.
It might be faster to switch to... Alright, there we go.
There we go.
So sometimes these little fairies can be kind of tricky. And so for this one, like shortly after he fires, I think it's been fairly consistent for me. All right, there we go.
Alright, very clean.
Then the last phase of the energy tennis is definitely the hardest one, but I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah, the good news is that Ganon will stay paralyzed until you deal enough damage there. So
Yeah. All right. Oh no.
Oh,
All right, I'm actually gonna try to get him to spawn another place. This is normally where I've done my setup for this. Oh no. This is the main reason I grabbed the ferry. Alright, I'm gonna stand a little further back. Maybe like here. Alright, ferry time. Alright.
ah,
Yeah, for some reason the timing just like is very tricky for this last one. Fortunately, we have the red mail. Maybe I'll stand further back. Oh no. Alright. We're gonna fight him one more time, and then we'll see. Unfortunate.
This Ganon just was not playing fair.
No. I think it's inconsistent because for the last phase, Ganon moves more. And so, like, it's hard to find, like, a spot where you can consistently get it to work. I'm actually gonna grab the ferry again just in case.
plus who uses 2 balls in tennis?
Yeah, it's pretty rude.
Only cheaters.
Yeah.
You're well underestimated, so take your time. No pressure from us. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, last night I did it like 10 times in a row at that section, and for some reason, earlier today when I was playing, the setup I had was not working. But
I have no tips here. I've never done this.
Yep. Oh no.
Go, first phase down.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna get our $50 again.
Infinite money glitch. Let's go.
Oh, Now, how about that?
Yeah, probably the best item to get there normally is like a piece of heart or a heart container.
Yeah.
It'll give you a full heal in the middle of the boss fight.
I felt like it was going faster that time. Oh no.
There we go.
You got this.
Thank you. With these fairies, you can merge into the walls and just hide out there for a while also. That gets through most of the phase, normally. Alright, here we go. Normally this is the easiest phase also, with the Ganon fight. Because you can just spam the sword swings.
Swordless is another beast.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey, there we go.
GG's.
The nice slow motion shot. One last bug nut hit.
Well done.
GG.
Thank you.
Last thing for us to do here is claim the Triforce.
Yep. Yeah, so thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Miss Becca Fay. I stream this game and other Zelda games, and I want to get into other randomizers too. I've played the Octopath Traveler randomizer a bit and Resident Evil randomizers. Yeah, so feel free to follow me if you would like. Thank you for the Final Fantasy randomizer for hosting this marathon. It's been awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Do we have time for one more quick donation before we kind of toss things around to the next section? Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. We have a $300 donation from
Ooh.
Fumafu
Ooh.
saying thank you
Fumafu.
so much to the Final Fantasy Randomizer community for hosting us today. And thank you to the Liam Foundation for the important work that you do. Thank you so much for your generosity, and thank you for being here. That was a lot of fun to watch. It's a beautiful game. Thank you for showing it off and some of the great tech there. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, definitely.